Suasday natang aknia. Welcome to Khmer Voices, where we shine a spotlight on the achievements of the Khmer diaspora around the world. I'm your host, Wanni, aka Vanny. What do you do when you've reached your big goals and you're uncertain what to go after next? My guest today is Soeun Outh, but most people know her as Soeun Outh. When I first met Soeun in grade 4, I thought she was the coolest Cambodian girl. She was confident, had lots of white friends, and just seemed to fit in so easily wherever she was. And I've always admired Soeun for her confidence, and after chatting with her for this episode, I definitely see where she got it from at that young age. What is Soeun's profession now? Well, she works in education and is super passionate about it in all its forms. She has over 2 decades of experience in administrative college and university positions and currently holds the position of Director, National Recruitment and Market Development at Centennial College in Toronto. She's also served as chair in committees relating to recruitment and diversity. Soeun holds certifications in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Interior Design Foundations, and a Bachelor of Journalism from Toronto Metropolitan University and a joint master's degree from that same school and York University in Communications and Culture. Growing up, even though Soeun knew what she wanted to do, she let the words of others cloud her judgment at times. So we discussed this and her journey in rediscovering herself and her heritage in her 40s. She's gotten to a point in her career where she's content and doesn't know what her next move is. And we talk about navigating this. So you ready? Let's jump right in and meet Soeun.
I'm really lucky. I have successful siblings who are incredibly supportive. And I have siblings that were always nurturing me to do well. And I also had folks that I did look up to who weren't Cambodian.
You mentioned in your advice to your younger self, just put in the effort. Can you expand on that some more?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised that you said, even if the teachers say that marks and effort doesn't matter, I'm surprised that they say that they had
Mm-hmm.
said that to you. Why? Was it because you're
I
pushing
think
yourself so hard and you're getting stressed out?
I don't even think so. Is one of the initial recommendations. So I transferred high schools to try to get into a fashion program. And when I went there, one of my negotiation pieces was that I would still be able to play sports. And I wanted to make sure I was getting into the photography program. And the guidance counselor said, you don't need photography if you're going into
Oh,
journalism, which is
wow.
what I wanted to do initially, which was ridiculous. That's a ridiculous comment to make. And he wouldn't put me in the class. So I never took photography. And surprisingly, I ended up doing my master's thesis on photography and professional headshots. So he was the first person that denied me. And then when I got into university, one of my professors said, grades don't matter, it's only what you do, or grades doesn't matter when you're in the journalism program. And it's a bachelor's of journalism, one of the hardest journalism schools to get into. And I took what he said to heart, and I didn't work as hard in my first year. And I wasn't used to not getting the best grades or being the
Mm-hmm.
best in my class. And it was a struggle. First year was a struggle in university. And then when I removed that own barrier that like I attached to myself because of what he said, then I started to do
Mm-hmm.
better in my courses, started to get further ahead in my program. But some of those comments from people that you don't, I don't know, it's like what you say really matters and what you hear really matters, what you absorb matters. And those were 2 things that I absorbed, and I didn't push harder to get into a photography program. And I listened to that initial professor or that professor and didn't work as hard. And I regret that.
So you studied journalism. How did you get into the education field?
When I graduated, I received a like advert in my graduation package that encouraged me to apply for a liaison officer position, basically to represent the college. And I applied. And when I applied, I met with one woman who was in my dorm room, and she was a friend of mine. She was already working in the role, and she was a year ahead of me. And her recommendation was to put on a suit for my interview. Such a small piece, but like sometimes you just like get all dressed up fancy, like you are like a fashionista for some of these interviews. Like I didn't know better at the time, but I got myself a suit and I went in
Uh-huh.
extra professional, and I got the job right away. And I continued to climb from there. From my first contract, I would just get another one and another one, and I got into a full time role pretty quickly after that. But there were women. I was reporting to women leaders that I admired, and they always encouraged me. They were tough, and they always looked fabulous. They're
Uh-huh.
also fashionistas, but were incredible mentors. And I'm really fortunate that I have a lot of women in my life who are in leadership roles who have supported me along my journey.
You mentioned that you had siblings and people not necessarily that are Cambodian that you looked up to. How did your siblings encourage you?
They just expected me to be the best because I was the youngest, and because I came to Canada when I was 3, I had the most education or English education of
Mm-hmm.
anybody in my family. So the expectation from everybody was that I had to be the best. So then I was,
Mm-hmm.
like in terms of grades. And my siblings' English level wasn't as high. So I would be editing university papers when I was
Mm,
in middle school, high school. So I already had experience with a lot of that before I went in,
mm-hmm.
but they just expected it, and they just said, kept telling me, and I that I had to, or that I was. So then I did.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it matters a lot, your network of supporters. Even my mom, who, bless her heart, survived the genocide and spent years in the refugee camp and just wanted a comfortable life. When I was switching from travel into wine, she's like, "Well, why are you leaving that
Hmm.
job? Is it easy? It seems easy." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the problem. Like I'm too
Yeah,
comfortable. Like I'm not excited about it anymore." And she doesn't understand like the need to have something that is fulfilling, and even earning a lot of money was not top priority for her. It was just
I
being
get it.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And I understand it now, especially reading,
Hmm.
these stories of survivors. But I wish I did have people like you had growing up to kind of push me a bit more, because I really wanted someone to look up to. Actually, I looked up to you because when I met,
No way.
yeah, when I met you in
I looked up to you.
no, no, oh
like,
my goodness, when I was
like
in
you
grade,
were like the sorority girl. I was like, she's so cool.
no way. So not
Yeah,
even close. I was like a geek. Anyways, I in grade four, I think we met in grade
so
five,
funny.
right? We met in grade five. I'm like, oh, who's this cool girl? She's so good at basketball, and she's like has white friends.
I did have a lot of white
Yeah,
friends. Oh my
and
gosh.
I never really connected with white people. Like
Oh,
I was
really?
always surrounded with other Cambodian and Lao, and yeah, I stuck with
Hmm.
the Asian community because we just know each other. We eat the same food, you understand each other's struggles and stuff. And but yeah, when I met you in grade five, I'm like, oh, she's so cool. And then I remember going into grade six and we were playing basketball. I'm like, oh, I just want to be okay. I
Hmm.
just want to be good enough. I don't need to be as good as Soeun.
Okay. I, I would have been so competitive if you were, because I love competition
Yeah,
too, and maybe that's just it. Like maybe my family did keep pushing me because they knew I liked it,
yeah,
right? Like it just drove me
yeah,
to be the best.
yeah.
So yeah, I would have loved it if you were competing with me.
Yeah. No, I didn't try to compete with you. I just wanted to be all right. I wanted to be like at half your level in terms of, getting friends, your confidence and everything. But, as you grow older, you grow and you learn a little bit
Mhm.
more about yourself, you gain more confidence. But yeah, I did look up to you for that short time period when I was in middle school with you.
Oh my gosh. The piece about like white friends and white culture, or like being assimilated into this culture, that is something that I've been struggling with recently. When I do equity training previously at the university
Mhm.
where I was working, And now at the college, we do a lot of equity training. And one of the things that I did recently was the circle of privilege and where you see yourself within privilege. I always just identified with white people, and my mentors were often white people. And now I'm just starting to become more engrossed in Cambodian culture
Mm-hmm.
or in Asian culture. And I do feel like that's a piece that was lacking for me. My siblings are really interested in being all things Cambodian. I ended up marrying a white guy. Like it's very much, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like I've been struggling with it, that I've moved to that side a bit too much.
Mm. I'm just like you. I'm at this stage in my life right now where I feel like I did lose definitely in university where I moved away and that was my goal. I wanted to kind of just be independent, move
Mhm.
out on my own and really live that like that Western lifestyle. So and I did and I really enjoyed it, but I feel like when you focus on one thing, other things have to kind of be put to the side
I
on
hear
the
you.
back burner. So now that, I've done that and feel like I can connect with more people outside the Asian community, I am trying to find myself too because I'm realizing that my kids don't know anything about the Cambodian culture and they're half Cambodian. Let's not talk about me because I feel like I'm for some reason taking over and talking about myself. I want to ask I want to ask questions about you. Did you know you wanted to study journalism?
Yeah, I did do a lot of writing when it came to Cambodian pieces, even, and I also started a school newspaper, and then I went to journalism school and went to Cambodia and tried to do some writing there as well, or during my exchange.
Mhm.
And it's very therapeutic. I forget to write sometimes, and sometimes I feel like it's a lot of pressure to write because I shared that I wanted to be a writer with one of my friend's aunt. We were at their cottage, and she said, "Well, if you want to be a writer, you have to write every day." And then I just stopped writing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be forced to
Mhm.
write.
We shouldn't be letting other people's opinions on how to do things dictate whether or not we can do
Yes,
it.
and then I just stopped, right? Like, it's like these words matter too much to
Mhm.
me,
Mhm.
and then I forget who I am sometimes, start to question who I am, and it's tough too because it's often, like, the words of strangers. My mom was the same. She said, "Why don't you just be a secretary? It's a great
Yeah,
life,"
it's
right?
easy.
Or go
It's easy.
be
Yeah.
it's easy, it's an
It's
office
stable.
job, you're out of the
Yeah.
sun, right? You don't get dark.
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect option. And I was like, I would not be happy doing that. I could not do that. But then part of me actually wants to be like an assistant. I do like making people look good. And maybe that, and I think that's where I find my success. It's that I am good at making others look good. So my bosses always look good
Uh-huh.
when they have me around. And because of this, then they can elevate me. Like it's easier to elevate somebody when they really like you. And one of my previous bosses said, relationships are the new currency. And I hold that very dear.
I don't know where you would be if you didn't know how to build relationships and nurture them. I was wondering who inspires you now? It could just be a different aspect in life too, like who inspires you personally, not necessarily professionally. It's such a luxury to have free time. And I want to celebrate the fact that we can now have free time and do whatever it is that we want to do that brings us joy. And it doesn't have to be monetized. So, even at a personal level, is there someone that you kind of look up to that you'd like to be like, that person looks like they've got it figured out. They are excelling in their career and they're doing things at a personal level that really brings them joy.
Probably my sister. And this is again where I'm really fortunate that I do have siblings that are fantastic people. And my sister moved to California because she wanted to live in a hot place.
Uh-huh.
Found herself a husband in California. They fell in love, of course. It was like all that stuff. But then she's like, that was what she had projected.
Uh-huh.
And then he
Yeah.
showed up. And she made her way there and has is incredibly successful there, working in banks. She's all about people.
Uh-huh.
She's a fantastic salesperson, and she's doing great. She has everything she wants. I think from our discussions, and she has multiple homes. She travels a lot, and she's
Mm-hmm.
really just taking advantage of her life, and she knows how to have a good time. And she's the one that tells me all the time, I need to stop being a workaholic. She knows what she's doing
Uh-huh.
because she's like, she does really well. She's, resourceful, all of those things. So probably my sister.
I mean, speaking of being a workaholic, how did you do it? You
Mhm.
were working full time, you have two kids, you have family obligations. You want to see your aging parents as well, right? And spend
Mhm.
quality time with them. But you were also you have a master's. How did you manage that all?
It was horrible. Just
But worth it.
100% worth it. It took me forever to finish my master's, and I was only able to do it because I used the resources that were available at the university. And one of the things that they had the students provided,
Hmm.
the grad
Hmm.
students, was a session to just be online and work together without saying a word. So it made me accountable, and that's the only way I got through my thesis. Prior to writing my thesis, the classes were amazing. Like every class I took was amazing. I really like education. I know it's cheesy, but I think that's why I'm in this field, because I've always pushed people to go into school or to go to university, or now go to college or do a post grad or whatever it
Uh-huh.
is. I've always really loved reading, writing, anything to do with
Mm.
academics. So for me, it was a natural fit when I did get into this role. I was selling something that I truly believe in, and I'm selling it while not selling it. Like I'm selling it, but at the same time, it's about the person. So I really do believe in what I'm doing. I totally got off track. Oh, the
Yeah,
master's
how did you
program.
get all that done?
And
Yeah.
it was hard. It took me a long time, and then I just kept going back to it. To be honest, and I had professors that allowed me leniencies to take my time when I needed to. But it was an amazing program, and I highly recommend it to anybody to do.
What was it?
It was a master's in communication and culture. I did my thesis on professional profile pictures, trends of professional profile pictures. And I looked at how other post secondary institutions navigated their profile pictures. What were the trends? What people did? The trend is that it's like forward facing now. But then I looked at like cultural, like historically, left side, right side, and then the science of face. Well, not even a science, the pseudoscience of face and how people judged you based on certain characteristics of your face. It was really interesting stuff. Yeah. One of the things I got out of that is that when you are selecting your photographer, make sure it's somebody that you like, somebody that you think sees you in the same way that you see yourself, because that makes a huge difference in how the picture comes through.
So you have your master's.
Yes,
Is there a PhD in the
there's a
works or?
PhD option. When I started this new role, my previous boss, one of the ways she got me to come here was because of the grants or tuition pieces that are allowable. So the college will pay for me to do my PhD if I want to, like a good portion of it. I just don't know anymore, because previously it was all about like get to the top, win. But now that I'm older, it's about how do I ensure that my kids are set up for success financially. So if I do my PhD, am I going to get to the point where I'm actually making more money for the kids and
Mhm.
allowing me to invest in other things? I think I can be an instructor already at my level, just with some of my experience. So I might look into being an instructor and then taking some other like upskilling courses. But maybe I haven't ruled it up off the table yet.
In terms of your free time, what do you like to do?
I garden now because, just like everybody else in our age range,
That's
I'm obsessed with
it's
gardening.
definitely
Are
I'm
you
trying
obsessed with
to, yeah.
gardening?
I have pots of
Mhm.
herbs and basic stuff. Yeah. I needed my mint, I needed my Thai basil, I needed my green onions. Yeah.
Yes. The trick to gardening is to just throw the seeds on the ground.
Is it? Okay.
And that it's so much easier than what I thought. I
Uh-huh.
would dig holes super deep, and then they would never sprout because they're
Uh,
so
they're
deep
deep.
in the soil. They can't make all their way up. And my mom is a fantastic gardener, so she showed me that trick, and so now our garden looks pretty good. I also like sports, and I stopped playing sports when I got pregnant um, with my second child, and have tried to swim more regularly. But I love sports. Like
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned earlier that I played basketball, or we played basketball together. And just last weekend, I was playing friends volleyball with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and it was amazing. And I hadn't played in years, so I need to get back into sports. This year, I think I'm just trying to rediscover who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that's normal.
Yeah.
I'm actually
100%.
okay with that. It's a different way of trying to experience who I am now. I feel like I'm just getting to it at a later age. Oh, but you know what I do love? National Geographic. It is such a good read. And like I had a subscription for a while, and then I stopped the subscription, but I still get the email, so I'm always poking around. But their stuff is great. And that's what I actually wanted to do. So
Really?
my
Yeah. The
goal in life
photography in
was to
there's
work for
amazing.
National Geographic would have been the ideal. And where I went to university,
Uh-huh.
folks in the photography program did end up at National Geographic.
So
I
I mean,
know.
it's never too late. You have so many years left in your
Life.
life. Yeah. Like, why not fulfill your childhood dream?
This is actually why I realized I did not want to be a journalist, was because I went on an international exchange to Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and I spent a semester there. When I went there, I connected with my brother, my oldest brother, who my mom found.
Oh my goodness.
We had lost him during the war,
Uh-huh.
and she found him when I was in elementary school. I had never met him. And when I went to Australia, on my way back from Australia, I stopped in Cambodia for the first time and met him for the first time. He's a hoot. He's very much like the rest of my family, so it's very obvious he's part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
But he grew up as a Khmer Rouge soldier, and he was still very well connected. He became their surgeon. He's actually a good person to interview, but it would be in Cambodian
Mm-hmm.
or in Khmer. He ended up being a surgeon for the Khmer Rouge. He was very close to brother number one, brother number two, brother number three. So he was very well connected. And when I met him, I wanted to do an interview with Kia Sampan. I think he's brother number two or brother number three. He was still alive and he was living in the jungle. And I connected with CBC's The National, the producer,
Mm-hmm.
who was one of my professors, Daniel Schwartz. And Daniel Schwartz was like, okay, if you want to do this interview, that's fine. We'll get you connected with somebody in the area. And the night before we left, my brother said, okay, everything's ready to go. I have my friend waiting. He went to get the guns, and we'll leave first thing in the morning.
Okay. Why did he need guns?
And then I stopped. I was like, I cannot be going to an interview with my brother and a bunch of guns.
Yeah.
My Cambodian is not that strong.
Yeah.
I'm 100% going to say something that's going to be disrespectful. Somebody for sure is going to get shot just based on my inability to speak Khmer well. And my sister in law found out and said, your mom is going to kill you, to my
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we are going to go anyways. And I was like, I know, I can't do this. I cannot be going here with my brother. I think if it wasn't my brother, it was just me, 100%, I'd be there. But then my brother was involved. He was bringing armory here and going to take me to this jungle to meet with Kiss and Pan.
Uh,
And I didn't go.
oh my
And that's when I
goodness.
realized I couldn't be a journalist.
Well, I mean, that's pretty extreme, especially for someone that young. What, 21?
Early 20s.
Yeah.
I was in third year of university,
Yeah, that takes a lot of
but it was pretty cool.
courage, but I mean, journalists do that sort of stuff though, right?
They do that. Yeah, they
But
do that.
but
That's,
you
and that's what I thought I wanted.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. I mean, you could National Geographic. There's still that.
Let's climb some mountains instead.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. Oh wow. That your brother
I
would be
know.
definitely an interesting person to interview, even from like your perspective and how he grew up and stuff. Like you could write a book on him. There's your book there.
I have I have been writing a book on him. He's very
Uh-huh.
interesting. And that's
Wow.
maybe it. That's maybe what my next piece is. I have been writing, but I haven't committed to finishing.
You have this powerful story to tell. And coming from a journalism background, it seems like you're the perfect
Mhm.
person to tell your brother's story. So you grew up with a lot of people that you looked up to, a lot of people who pushed you.
Yeah.
So your personal
Yes.
network was very, they were strong influences in you growing up and you excelling in your career at this time. You wanted your younger self to know that you need to put in the effort. If you want something, you need to put in the effort.
I
So I
really
kind of
do.
summarize what we talked about. And in terms of any lessons learned from your story, what are a couple things that you want people to take away?
It's interesting because I have a daughter who's 11
Mm-hmm.
and she's amazing. But she likes to be cool and she
Uh-huh.
wants, she gravitates towards what her father is like.
Uh-huh.
And she didn't really care about getting good grades. And it was only just this year when she started getting A's, because I've been stressing how important it is to do the work. And also because her cousins do well. Her older
Mm.
cousins are getting A's. And told her it's important to compete with her cousins because otherwise they're going to always beat her. And she's like me, competitive. So
Uh-huh.
now she's getting straight A's. So I think you're right. Like the mentorship piece or who to look up to, I think it's so important to find somebody to look up to and try to get there and then surpass them. How can
Mm-hmm.
you surpass that person that you're looking up to?
Mm.
And that's always been my goal, to surpass that person. Who is it I want to surpass? I don't know right now. Like I
Uh-huh.
want to get a Michelin star or get something. Like I don't know what my next piece is,
Mm.
but I'm always trying to find that next thing, and that's what drives me. And I, yeah, there's always something that you can try to get, like in terms of achievement. And
Always be working
I
towards
think you
something.
need that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that goal, it's so easy to be stagnant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
And
what are
get
you
bored.
doing?
I don't know. Maybe it's just our
Yeah.
personalities. We just we get bored if we're stagnant.
I'm working I'm working at a college now, and it's a very different vibe. There's a lot of postgrads there as well, but it is a more casual culture,
Mm-hmm.
caring culture too. It is different because folks on my team are surprised at how much I want to win,
Mm.
but they're adopting it. Right now, they want to be the best. Like I don't know, kind of have to want that, or else you won't be.
Yeah. I guess it's sort of, will it rub off on you too to be a bit more casual and then just enjoy life a bit more as your sister told you to do?
I don't
Or is that
know.
like,
I don't
or is that
know.
what you already
I'm
enjoy?
trying.
And it's like, that's
I
what brings
do
you
enjoy
joy. Yeah.
that.
That's
I
awesome that you
enjoy that.
found
I
something like that.
enjoy winning.
Yeah.
I enjoy like just marking. When you have a to-do list and you
Yeah.
get to check it off. I
Yeah.
love that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
feels great. I only need to check off a couple of things and I'm good to go. Then I can maybe go relax, but I can't relax unless I check those things off.
Uh-huh.
Because yeah, it definitely drives me. I don't know. Global citizenship, all of that stuff. Like, why are we doing what we do? What's driving you? Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes people don't know what's going to drive them, and that's okay too.
Just keep doing something that brings you joy and eventually you find it.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to stick to whatever it is that you decide to do either. I think one of the best ways to figure out what you want to do is just to try
Hmm.
different things. And you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. Like I given up a lot of things. Travel blogging was one of them. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Pretty cool. Yeah, but that takes a lot of confidence to try new things.
The worst that can happen is that you can just go back to whatever it is that you were doing before, right? So
Yeah.
you don't really have anything to lose. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, Soeun. Oh, actually, you know what? I had one last question. I was like, Soeun, how do you say that in
Yes.
Khmer?
Soon.
Soeun. Okay, I'm gonna call you Soeun from now on.
Okay.
Soon. Always lots of laughs catching up with her, and she continues to radiate confidence even when navigating uncertainty. So her siblings and mentors played a huge role in her reaching assistant director and later on director roles at notable post-secondary institutions. She's clearly ambitious. I look forward to celebrating her next accomplishment. Maybe it'll be her book, or somehow maybe she'll find her way to National Geographic. Like she said, it's okay to not know. Just keep exploring. And once that target is clear, put in the effort and take people's advice with a grain of salt. Thank you, Mong Paon Kmoy, everyone, for listening. If you know someone who'd enjoy this episode, be sure to share it with them. And don't forget to give Khmer Voices a good rating if you're digging it. Sawakun Tran.